Hi everybody. Hope you're all doing good. Uh, Morning में class I think I was trying to go for the class live but कुछ technical problems हो गई थी so I could not take the class. So we will now continue our class of reading discussions, right? So let's begin. Okay, so we are discussing true, false, not given. A lot of students have a basic problem that they have uh, a big problem in solving the questions of true, false, not given. They are not able to crack the true, false, or not given, or they are not able to find the location of the answers. Some students they feel that they get a bit irritated, they feel stressed when doing the reading portions. They don't have clarity. Fine. So there are different things that different scenarios of different students when they come across the questions of true, false, not given. So today we are going to discuss some basics, real basics of true, false, not given. How to track those statements, whether they are true, they're false, even they are not mentioned at all, right? So we will be doing discussing four uh, exercises. Three exercises will be having your paragraphs, which will be discussing uh, all the true, false, not given problems. And there is one more task to do, which is finding the actual answers and finding the actual locations. So students have a big confusion of locating their answers. They keep on tracking again and again. They read back and forth. They sometimes they do skimming. Sometimes they go for scannings. So what is the right procedure to go for? And let's see. Uh, First of all, this is the big problem, the confusion. Yes, no, because in IELTS, when you go for IELTS examination, we have sometimes they are called yes, no, not given, and sometimes they're called true, false, not given. So make sure when there are yes and no in the options, you need to write yes and no only. And when there are true and false given, you need to write true and false. Both are same thing, but the naming convention is different. So sometimes they write true as yes and false as no. Not given, as you know, remains same. So we have quick some four exercises. Three exercises will be covering your true, false, not given, and the other will be having covering your basic exercise of reading. Acha, one more thing I would like to discuss with you. What is the psychology of reading? A lot of students are good readers. They can track the answers really well. They can find the answers. They don't have any hard time getting into the question itself or the passage. But some students, they start feeling irritated. They do not feel good when they're doing the reading portions. So we will try to tackle these problems, and we'll try to find a good solution for that. So just keep a hold on what you're doing. Uh, Keep looking and just focus on what I am doing in this reading portion, because this is very important, right? The very first thing is to just relax, calm down when you're doing the reading portions, because reading is something which is challenging. Not that it is tough, but it is sometimes tricky. But when you know the actual method, you'll come to know, right? So let's see. Let's begin the reading. Or in the middle of the reading also sessions, we'll discuss some very nice tips and tricks. So let's begin. We will go to this paragraph. So it has 6 questions in front of you, right? It's you can skim and scan, or you can just read the question, then move towards the answer. And a very important thing when you're doing the reading portions is that you need to find keywords. Everyone says that keyword, what are keywords, how to trace those keywords. Some mentors, there's some teachers, they say that look for the synonyms, look for the keywords. This is very correct. Every teacher is right in their own way that yes, the best way to do reading is to find keywords. So let's begin. It's a very simple, pretty easy exercise, but it'll be fun. It'll be very interesting to do once you know the way of finding the answers, right? Locating the answers, locating the you know the actual position where the answers are hidden. Okay, let's see. So you can pause the video for some time also if you want to, because this is live going on. Later on, when this will be uploaded, you can pause the video and then you can go through the essay. Then you can solve the questions. But then in the meantime, let's discuss. So this is a passage saying about spam messages. In China, a lots of messages are being sent as spam, right? So when do the exercise, let's see isko karna kaise. What is the actual way of solving this? The first question says that in China, spam text messaging is a successful business. So we'll definitely look for the keywords here, right? It's a very important thing, look for the keywords. But what if a keyword is everywhere? For example, this word spam, it is pretty uh, vivid that spam is written here, so we can track the keyword. What if a spam was written here also, somewhere here also, then here, at last also? Then we will be moving back and forth and tracing the answers, and we will miss the train. The best thing is first look at any first of all just go through a paragraph. There are small paragraphs in a passage. What I personally do is I always go through single paragraphs. I read first paragraph, then look at the questions, then move to the next paragraph. This is my way. Every student has his or her own way. I will not comment on that because some students they look at questions first, then they move towards the passage. Some do the opposite. So let's see. Spam. This is so the question says in China, spam text messaging is a successful business. It is true, false, or not given, right? Let's see. Spam, as every user of mobile phones in China is aware to their intense annoyance, is a roaring trade in China. In China, in China. Text messaging is a successful business, a booming business. Booming means roaring. Business means trade. This was pretty easy. This is a very easy to go, very easy to digest paragraph. This is just the beginning. We will, in the next videos also, we will be step by step moving towards the toughest readings. This is just, a warm up session. So we'll go with the easy ones, right? So definitely this is a true answer is true because both answers are almost same, identical. They have used synonyms in a big manner. Let's see. Second question says that people's phone numbers are collected through the use of technology which cannot be readily bought. So in China, they are using some technology which is not easy to buy. Let's see. Its deliverymen drive through residential neighborhoods in text messaging cars with illegal but easy to buy gadgetry they use to hijack links between mobile phone users and nearby communication masts. Okay. There they are saying people's phone numbers are collected through the use of technology which cannot be readily bought. They are saying they move towards the neighborhoods with illegal. Technology is illegal, yes, but easy to buy. Easy to buy. They are saying cannot be readily bought. Totally opposite. They are saying it is very easy to buy gadgets. They are saying it cannot be readily bought. This is a contradiction. So your answer simply is your false. Okay. In no other country, third question. In no other country do people receive more spam texts than in China, right? So let's see. And if you observe one thing, every answer is in single lines. So this is I can say this is an easy reading because every answer is in single line because full stop to full stop. I'll discuss with you what is this full stop to full stop funda. Uh, it is a way of tracking your answers. So the third question is saying that in no other country do people receive more spam texts in China. That China is the only country or the country which is having the highest number of spam messages. They are receiving spam messages. Let's see. Uh, then they get the target number they harvest, blasting them with spam text messages before driving away. Mobile phone users usually see only the very some results. Okay, nothing mentioned here to be precise. Let's see here. Chinese mobile users get more spam text messages than their counterparts anywhere else in the world. In no other country, anywhere else in the world, country, anywhere else in the world, do people receive more spam texts than China? That means China is the highest. They are at the pinnacle. So they are saying it's the same thing. Chinese mobile phone users get more spam text messages than their counterparts. That is, this is true. Fine. This is the answer is true. Okay. So a very fine thing. It's a bonus whenever you get this digit year number because year numbers are always identical. But if you see here, this is written 2013 and this is written 2013. So what you have to do, lock the sentence. That means locking means this 2000 lies in this sentence, this particular sentence. So the answer begins from here and the answer ends at the full stop. So this is the sentence. You need to log the sentence. A very basic common rule for easy to medium reading passages. Okay, just saying that in 2013, the number of spam texts increased considerably to reach 300 billion. They were about, sorry, the text increased considerably to reach 300 billion. Okay. So this question is saying that they were very near to 300 billion. That means they did not exceed the mark of 300 billion and even not 300, but they were very near. About, you can say 297, 298. They were less than that, right? So what the reading passage is saying, they received more than 300 billion. This shows less than 300 billion. They show more than. Total contradiction. Answer is false. This is total contradiction. Okay, let's see. The majority of all texts received in Shanghai and Beijing are spam. The majority of all texts received in Shanghai and Beijing are spam. Majority means, what's the meaning of majority? More than 50%, right? More than 50%. 51, 52. This is majority. Minority means below 50, right? Or less than the bigger ones. They are saying that, okay, Beijing and Shanghai. Beijing and Shanghai. Beijing and Shanghai. Just log the sentence. So this sentence begins from here and ends at here till full stop. Users in bigger markets like Beijing and Shanghai receive a two a day, twice a day means they receive two messages or more than 700 annually. For year, they receive almost 700 messages, which are spam, fake messages, or fishy, bogus messages, accounting for perhaps one fifth or to one third of all texts. That means one fifth they of all texts. If they're 100% in totality, they receive perhaps one fifth. One fifth means this becomes 20% to one third of all texts. One third means 33%. 20%, 33%, less than 50%. They are saying majority, more than 50%. Total contradiction. Answer is false. If you have your doubts, if you need to ask some questions, if you need to raise queries, you can just message us on WhatsApp. Currently, we have not enabled comment sections, but we will enable them in a moment, so you can also participate, right? Okay. So the next thing is, in 2011, Americans sent more texts than anywhere else in the world. In 2011, so this is 2011 something here. So again, log the sentence or the begins from here and it ends to send. So Americans, by comparison, received an estimated 4.5 billion junk messages in 2011, or fewer than 20 per mobile users for the year, out of a total of more than 2 trillion text messages sent. Americans sent more text than anywhere else in the world. यहाँ लिखा हुआ है, they have mentioned here received. So will it be false or not given? Here they're saying Americans received an estimated 4 billion junk messages. They are saying they sent, they have sent the messages. Problem here is this is not a contradiction. One is sending, one is receiving, but they are not contradicting each other. It can be the possibility they might have sent or they might have received the messages, but this is not mentioned here. This particular statement is not mentioned at all. In that case, this goes for not given. This is a not given, right? So this is the first session. Let's move towards your second paragraph or second passage. Sorry, not paragraph, passage. Okay, so if you are not watching this live, you are repeating it again, or are watching it later. You can pause this video. You can look at the paragraphs. Then you can come towards the question. Then you can start solving the questions. Okay, this is about Beethoven. He was famous for his symphonies. He was a great piano player. So it is about something about Beethoven. Right? Let's step it into the second paragraph and second passage. Okay, I hope you might have paused and you might have gone through this paragraph and passages. So let's see. This is again true, false, not given. It is not known exactly when Beethoven was born. No exact date is there. When, not where, it is when. Composer Ludwig van Beethoven was born on or near December 16, 1770. The sentence says it all. He was born on, but it can be near also. So that means he was born near December 16. So it is not clear which the sentence matches, which the question matches, because it is saying, it is mentioning that it is not known, or near. Both are similar. Answer is true. Second question. Beethoven suffered cruelty at the hands of his father. His father was cruel. He scolded him, or he, said something bad, or he might have given him some punishment. Let's see. Beethoven suffered cruelty at the hands of his father. Okay. Let's see. Beethoven's father began teaching him music with an extraordinary rigor and brutality. Rigor and brutality. That means violence. He was not good. He was not benevolent. He was cruel. He was not nice. Beethoven suffered cruelty. He was cruel, right? This again, the sentence composition matches again, and this brings us towards your answer is true. Okay, Beethoven was denied hours of sleep as a punishment for poor performance. Beethoven was sleep deprived. He was not given enough sleep. Why? Because his performance was poor. Because his performance was poor. Let's see what the sentence mentioned here. On a near daily basis, Beethoven was flogged, locked in the cellar, and deprived of sleep. Deprived of sleep, denied of sleep. Deprived of sleep, denied of sleep for extra hours of practice. They are saying practice. To make him practice, he was sleep deprived. He was not given sleep. He was forced to stay awake. Why? Just for practice. They are saying for poor performance. No. It is true that he was denied sleep, but not for his poor performance, but for practice. Answer is false. This is not given. This is false. Okay. Beethoven's father was also a talented musician. Okay, let's see. Was he a musician or a talented musician? His father. He studied the violin and clavier with his father as well as taking additional lessons from organizers around the town. Beethoven was a prodigiously talented musician from his earliest days and displayed flashes of the creative imagination that would eventually reach farther than any composers before before or since. So it is mentioning that yes, he was talented, but who? Beethoven. They are saying Beethoven's father. So they haven't have mentioned here about Beethoven's father. He might be he might be a good musician, but they haven't have mentioned here. Yes, Beethoven was talented, but was his father too? There is no description of that. This is not a contradiction. This is simply not given. This is simply not given. Okay, Beethoven's Symphony Number 3 was inspired by a famous man. So he made a symphony. Beethoven made a Symphony Number 3 was inspired by a famous man. He got, he had an ideal to follow, to be followed. Okay, sorry, to be followed. Um, so he was inspired. Somebody ignited a fire in him. Let's see, it is mentioned somewhere. Yes, because this is number 3. It's a keyword. This is a keyword. Lock the sentence. So sentence begins from here and ends till honor. In 1804, only weeks after Napoleon proclaimed himself emperor, Beethoven debuted debuted his Symphony Number 3 in Napoleon's honor. He dedicated, he represented Symphony Number 3 for Napoleon, for his pride, to show uh, him respect. It was his grandest and most original works to date. So, unlike anything heard before, that through the weeks of rehearsal, the musicians could not figure out how to play it. Are they mentioning that it was, dedicated for, sorry, they are saying it is for dedicated for this person, for Napoleon. They are saying that he was inspired by famous man. His symphony was inspired by famous man. No, his symphony was not inspired, but it was dedicated for a famous man. So, according to you, what can be this answer? Well, should it be false or not given? The answer to this is not given. Why? Because he says that yes, for his to pay respects to Napoleon, he made Symphony Number 3. But was he inspired? He might be. He could have been inspired. But have they mentioned this here? They haven't have mentioned this anywhere. So this answer is not given. Simply it is not mentioned. Okay, last one. In the early 1800s, Beethoven struggled to follow a conversation. in the early 1800s, it was 1774, 75, Beethoven struggled to follow a conversation. He could not, he had some problem he might be having a problem with his ears or speech, right? Let's see. The musicians figured out at the same time as he was composing these great and immortal works, Beethoven was struggling to come to terms with a shocking and a terrible fact, one that he tried desperately to conceal. He was going deaf. At the turn of the century, Beethoven struggled to make out the words spoken to him in conversation. He could not figure out, he could not hear properly what was being spoken to him. Here I just mentioned Beethoven struggled to follow conversation. He couldn't have all his ears, you know, dedicated to listen to something. So this is typically this is very similar. This will be your true. Fine. This is true. Okay. Let's jump rightly to the next paragraph. We have two more paragraphs. So I'll not take much time of yours. It will be interesting if you can continue. You can just skip the sessions also which in between if you want to. But I advise you to go to the session through the session fully. It will be very helpful to all of you because we are discussing the very basics of reading, which is very important, very helpful. Okay. So they're talking about Thames Tunnel now. So Thames Tunnel was a subaqueous or a bridge which was made under the river. Very famous bridge of its time in England, and a lot of new bridges were made. Like the replicas, or they were inspired from it. It's a wonderful. It was a very wonderful legacy. That continued further. Let's see. So you can again pause the video. You can look at the paragraphs, the passages, and then you can come back to this questions session, right? Okay, you might have paused it, and so let's begin. The Thames Tunnel was the first tunnel ever built under a river. First tunnel ever built. Anywhere else in the world, there was no such tunnel built. This was the first of its kind. You know, the giant, the mammoth, the first one. Let's see. The Thames Tunnels was a tunnel built under the river Thames in London. Till now, not given. Let's see. It was the first subaqueous under river subaqueous tunnel ever built, and many believed it was the eighth wonder of the world. At the time it was opened, it was the first tunnel ever built, first subaqueous. So a lot of students have this complaint and doubt that whether this is true or not given, because they are saying it was the first subaqueous ever built under river, first tunnel ever built. So they're saying, have they mentioned the word called world, globe? So it is not mentioned, but I particularly feel this should be true because this is exactly matching with the sentence. It is going with the theme of the sentence. So this should be true. Okay. Now this second question is very interesting. It shows that the Thames Tunnel was the eighth wonder of the world. So they're saying many believed it was the eighth wonder of the world. Okay. This says, so if I say that any big monument, if I can say that ABC Hotel or the very famous hotel or the Taj Hotel is the eighth wonder of the world. I believe that. I feel this should be the eighth wonder of the world. This is my belief. And they are saying, they are mentioning a claim here. They say that the Thames Tunnel was the eighth wonder of the world. This is a claim. This is a belief. Total contradiction. But this is not false. It is not mentioned here. Some people believed it to be the eighth wonder of the world. It was or not, nobody knows. Actually, there are seven wonders of the world. But you can say that if there's total seven wonders of the world, how can this be the eighth wonder? So we will not overanalyze, we will not brainstorm much. Whatever is mentioned here, we will only answer that. So in that case, this is not given because it is not mentioned that whether it was the eighth wonder of the world or not? The answer here is not given. Okay, people were drawn from all over the world to see the Thames Tunnel. Okay, people were drawn. So it was opened in 1843 to pedestrians only, and people came from far and wide, all over, far and wide. So the answer is far and wide, all over. Totally true. This is true. The tunnel was particularly popular with the middle and the upper class. Okay, let's see. The Thames Tunnel was used by people of from all classes. It was used. It was particularly popular. Let's see. The working class used it for its functional use of crossing from one side to the other, while for the middle classes and upper classes, it was a tourist experience. For whom? For middle and upper class. The tunnel was particularly popular with the middle class and upper class. So I have an assignment for you. You can do one thing. You can give the answer of this question in the WhatsApp group. Question number 4. What was it? So what do you feel? Because they are saying popular. They are mentioning here that it was used by the working class, while for the middle class and the upper class, it was a recreational experience. It was used for tourism and you know traveling. So I leave this question to you. You have to give the answer to this question. You can just WhatsApp us. Okay, moving to the next question, number 5th. People were able to travel by sea or land in those days. People were able to travel by sea. They used to voyage. They could voyage through sea, through water, and through land. Okay, it was a tourist experience in the age of sail and horse-driven coaches. People traveled a long way to visit the tunnel. Answer is totally true. How? People used to travel by sea, by sail. Sailing means they used to sail the boats, and by land they used to use those horse-drawn coaches. Total correct. The answer is similar. The answer is true. Okay, now moving towards your next question. The aim of the tunnel was to turn a profit as a tourist attraction. A very good question. The basic aim, the main aim, the focus of the tunnel was to turn a profit. They wanted to raise some revenue, some profit, some capital as what? As a tourist attraction. They wanted to generate money as a tourist attraction, right? Let's see. It was something somewhere here. Financial success, the aim. This is right. This is the one. So the aim. So lock the sentence. Full stop to full stop. The aim had been for the tunnel to be used by wheeled vehicles to transport cargo, so that it could bring in a profit. Okay, this is fine. It was made to turn a profit, so there's a profit. But for what thing? As a tourist attraction. They are saying wheeled vehicles to transport cargo. They were looking to transport cargo and generate revenue. To get some money, they used it to transport cargo. They're saying it was intended to generate money as a tourist attraction. No, it was just for uh, that transportations that made this thing to turn to a profit. So it was the transportation, not the tourist attraction. Total contradiction. The answer is false. Okay, statues of the tunnel could be bought as souvenirs. So as gifts, they were given as gifts. What? Statues of tunnel. Let's see something about souvenirs mentioned here. Used to be wheeled vehicles, but this failed selling it. Okay, this is the one. But this failed, and the tunnel wall eventually became nothing more than a tourist attraction, selling souvenirs. So they wanted to generate income by transportation. It did not work. It collapsed. It did not work. It collapsed. Then what happened? They started selling souvenirs. Okay, this is written here, souvenirs, souvenirs. But was it the statues of the tunnel mentioned? No. They were giving souvenirs, but not of statues. This is not given. No contradiction, not given, not mentioned. They were giving souvenirs, but they have not mentioned was it the statue of the tunnel, or were those the statues of the tunnel? No, not mentioned, not given. Last question before jumping on the last interesting session. Okay, the tunnel is no longer used as a pedestrian walkway to cross the river. In 1865, the tunnel became part of the London Underground Railway system, which continues to be its use today. It became a part of the Underground Railway system. The tunnel is no longer used as a pedestrian walkway to cross the river. Have they mentioned this thing? They have told us till now, till now it is being used as a part of the subway, the trains. Question number 8 says here that the tunnel is no longer used as a pedestrian walkway. I feel this is not mentioned here because if it was, they could have told us here. So a lot of students have this confusion that see this is they're clearly mentioning here that it is used now for the underground railway system, and people are not using it for to walk or to cross the river. So this is your opinion now. I particularly feel that they should be not given because it is not mentioned anywhere, right? So now the very important and very interesting uh, passage. It's a small passage. It is not true false not given, but it is an important part of improving your reading discussions, reading comprehensions. A very fine, very interesting. We have only 4 questions. We'll wrap it up in 5-10 minutes. So let's see. Okay, so you can again pause the video. You can go through the full paragraph, full passage. Then you can switch back to you can play the video again to get back to the answers. So let me tell you before we continue that these are 4 questions with 7 options. So you have to match the following. Simple as that. You have to match the following. But I'll tell you a very good technique of finding the answers. Okay, so you might have paused the video and we are resuming back again. Let's see. So it is about punishment, the old debate, punish or rehabilitate. Lots and lots of jails and prisons are using different techniques to tackle with the prisoners. Some are working to put the criminals behind the bars to teach them a lesson, but very few of them are rehabilitating them. They are giving them new life, giving them new skills, new talents, new courses available. They are allowing books. They are making libraries in the jail yards, right? So this is something about the topic. Let's see. Same thing, point to point, and single line answers, right? Okay. So the question here says that since prisons were established, it has been considered whether or not. So if I need to find the answer, what I'll do, I'll jump into the keyword sections, right? Let's see. Since, since, nowhere is else is since mentioned. So as an experiment, I have taken this word. What I have mentioned you before also, log the sentence. It means look at the beginning of sentence and look at the full stop. But strangely, if you see, there is no full stop. Is a comma here, just again as a question mark. The question mark, no full stop, and the paragraph ends here. That means this total full paragraph will be taken. We'll select the whole of the paragraph, the whole paragraph. Since prisons were established, since imprisonment, prisons were established, began. Done. This is a synonym for this. It has been considered whether or not. Consideration, thought, contemplation, debate. So this is the whole sentence, which is the exact copy paste of this sentence. That means that the rest of the remaining portion is your answer, which is the exact synonym of one of these sentences. Let's see. The day prisons have been established, it has been seen what? Should the prison system leave inmates to fester in cold cells with punishment and deterrence as the goal of incarceration? Should we put them behind the bars and let them spend their whole life looking for a second chance? There might be some prisoners who are looking for a second chance. They want to improve themselves, right? But is it our goal to just push them behind the bars, or should it let them wander from classroom to games rooms, preaching rehabilitation into society as its main aim? Or should we give them a chance? Let's give them a second chance. Let's see. Or or aim aim. They're saying put them behind bars or let's give them a fair chance. The aim of imprisonment should be to put off people committing crime, this statement, or rehabilitate them. Rehabilitate them. The answer for this is B. This matches here. Okay, jumping on to the next question. Let's see. Okay, putting criminals behind bars to reduce the crime rate is clearly not working. Clearly not working. Something is failing. That means we are putting criminals behind the bars, but it is failing. It is not working at all. There's some kind of loophole. Let's see. Putting criminals behind the bars to reduce crime rate. Reduce means lower. Crime rate means number, crime, criminals. So this is a sentence from here to where's the full stop? Here's the full stop. So if lowering the number of criminals is the reason behind imprisonment, putting criminals behind bars to reduce the crime rate is clearly not working. Recent figures point to a failing system. Clearly not working, that means something is getting failed. It is failing. How? Recent figures point to a failing system. Recent figures are telling this thing. So what's the synonym of recent figures? Point to, according to. Recent figures, recent, current, figures, numbers. This is the answer. Fine. Let's jump on to the next question. Okay. The new approach to dealing with punishment is dash, new approach. So I'll quickly jump on to the exact keyword, new, new. It is important not to jump to the keyword straightly and leave and ignore the paragraph. I recommend you to at least read a paragraph once, but it will be helping you because your accuracy will improve. Okay, new style. So the new approach to dealing with punishment is dash. New approach, simple. New approach, new style. Approach means style. To dealing with punishment, incarceration, which is punishment. So a growing number of prisons are embracing a new style of incarceration. A growing number. Why? So this is the sentence, and the copy paste of this is this. So what's left? We are left with this sentence from here to here because this is done in response to worldwide alarm over the ineffectiveness of how we manage criminals. In response to, response means feedback. Feedback means answer. In response to, in answer to. Ineffectiveness, that something is not working. Lack of success. Of how we manage criminals, the way criminals are currently dealt, deal, manage. This is the answer. Number C. Right? Let's jump quickly to question number 4. This is an interesting one. One of the most effective ways to reduce crime figures is to do what? To do dash. So if you see, reduce crime figures, reducing re-offending. This is the keyword. But the problem is we have one more keyword, bringing down re-offending rates. Same. This again. It's a replica. Let's see. Reducing reoffending is of benefit to everybody. I think the answer is not complete here. One of the most effective ways to reduce crime figures. Most effective ways. Effective means crucial. Is in bringing down reoffending rates, reduce, bringing down crime figures, rates, reoffending rates. So the remaining sentence is equipping prisoners with skills and confidence. Equip, help. Prisoners, offenders. Skills, confidence, useful skills. Fine. So this is a very practical approach of dealing with your reading comprehensions. We have a lot more. The data is enormous. We have enormous amount of data and techniques. This is a very basic technique which will be used everywhere. So I think this will be helpful to you guys. If you want to, learn more about IELTS, you are looking forward to give an examination. You feel a bit, reluctant to talk, or you want to discuss something, you can, just drop in your messages to the numbers we have shared with you. You can come daily for our live sessions. If you have any query, you need full-time preparations, you need full sessions, you can, definitely pay a visit to our institute, which is BrainEdge Education. So we are there to help you guys, and we will be working in a practical manner, uh, that you give your examination with ease. If you have any difficulties, because see, a lot of students are facing different problems in different modules. Some people are very good in listening, but they have a hard time dealing with reading sessions. Right, so we can guide you well, and we can help you to score better. This is just an examination of communication. This is the examination of proficiency. So we will work better to make your uh, IELTS score better. And definitely do check out our Facebook page, our YouTube page for more updates. You can follow us, like us, share us. You can even subscribe us. You can like our Instagram page, for more updates. And we will be there for to help you and guide you, right? So this was it, and the next session will be of writing. I think we will be discussing writing task 2 again, with a different type. Might be it will be advantages and limitations. So if you want a particular kind of topic to be discussed, just drop in your messages to our WhatsApp group. We will discuss and we'll try to figure out what we need to do next, right? So this was it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session, and hopefully we will be bringing more of them daily. We will be committed to bring daily live sessions, and so see you guys tomorrow, and with a new session with new topic.